welcome back to therapy sessions weekly with Sleepy D.
Oh, so sorry. Wow.
And T.
Oh, my head kind of hurts. I'm a little hungover, I think.
Drink some coffee. Dunkin' Donuts.
It's so good. Why is it that good?
Because it's crack.
Crack cocaine. Hi. I'm Danita.
And I'm Taylor. And this is Modern Day Hippies. Therapy session.
Is it?
Yes, it's always a therapy session. We talk out all the shit. So this week we kind of wanted to talk about relationships and all different types of relationships. It's not leaving out one or the other. It's platonic, romantic, family relationships, and something that we kind of realized and along the way of being in our mid-20s is that all of your relationships change in one form or another, whether they are estranged or you aren't as close anymore. Maybe it can even get stronger.
Yeah, for sure. It's crazy because you go through so many different relationships in a lifetime. Yeah, some grow stronger, some weaken, some disappear. And I was reading this book, which kind of got us on the subject of friends and relationships. And it's called The Millionaire Mindset by Tracy Gagnon. I don't know if I'm saying that right, but that's fine. And I quote, "The people you care about won't always join you on your journey. As your success grows, you grow. That may mean you'll outgrow some of the things you used to enjoy or find inspiring. This is a shift in paradigm and doesn't reflect badly on your friends. Remember, you're the one changing, not them. As you continue to change into the person you want to be, you may need to make new friends, see fresh perspectives, discuss different ideas. This is not to say you should sever ties with old and dear friends. It just means that you shouldn't be surprised if some of them stay behind as you expand your horizons."
Damn.
End quote.
End quote. Damn, that's so crazy. And a lot of books that I have been reading too kind of have the same idea where, I don't know, I guess I just never really realized how much change, especially in all these different aspects of our lives, are actually changing. People are coming in and out of our lives constantly. Some good examples are, changing your work life, you're moving, or your college friends and you're moving on from college or from high school and you're starting your own new life.
Yeah, it's crazy because, you're in these different stages. You said high school, and then from high school, you go into college or work life, and then you make your work friends. And it's some of those work friends will only be there for that period of time that you're in that occupation, and then you move on. Yeah. And it's maybe you stay in touch or whatever the case is, but you're still growing and you're changing, and so the people around you are also changing.
Yeah.
The forms of them are changing too.
Yeah, so as we grow and change, so do our relationships. And I also feel social media is a good way to keep in contact with all these people. So yeah. I know, I've moved around to multiple restaurant industry jobs, and I have all of my old ex-coworkers from all these different places, and I still see them, doing their thing on social media, which is kind of nice, just to,
it's the way you can, hype them up still and be a good friend or... just say hi. Yeah,
and they know, exactly who to come to if they ever need to, if need be, because they know
exactly
who you are.
So, a good case is for high school versus now. We had a pretty tight group in high school. I would say, we had our main 6 friends, maybe. Mm-hmm. And now, I think we kind of just have each other. Is that bad?
No, never that. Never that. But it was more of a thing in high school where it was all about popularity in a way. You have these huge group of friends. Quantity is a big thing in high school, and now it's more about the quality of the friendship. Yeah. So quality versus quantity.
Yeah, that's for sure. In high school, being popular meant having so many friends. But, now it's I don't want so many friends. Yeah. I just want those that are loyal and true. And
I mean, I don't think I ever, wanted to be popular, be that popular kid. I I don't think anyone really knew who I was, which is, like, fine. You know, like, we were on the Palms team together, so, like, I feel like we had a good...
I think we had a good diverse amount of groups of friends.
Yeah, groups of friends, and, like, I still think we have our still different groups of friends now as well, but it's just a totally different aspect now.
Yes.
Speaking of high school, we want to touch on toxic relationships and healthy relationships.
Oh, God.
Versus each other. So, how do we even start with this?
Well, so, okay, Tay and I were both, high school, lovey-dovey. Okay, we both were in a long-term relationship in high school, which is, I say don't do it. That's my opinion.
Don't fucking do it. It ruins your life. No, I'm
yeah, literally, it just, there's so much that I feel like I personally missed because of it.
I agree.
And the relationship, we're just kids, and we think we know it all, but literally, just don't do it, because it was so toxic. It was so toxic.
It was very toxic, and it's just so crazy how me and Danita, we started becoming best friends maybe like sophomore year of high school.
Yeah.
And that was probably around the same time we were just like, we had our boyfriends, and I don't even know if we actually like hung out all of us together, maybe like maybe less than a handful of times.
Yeah.
And it was
maybe
so
once.
crazy.
Maybe once. Like, I feel like my person at that time, who I was in a relationship with, never wanted to hang out with my friends.
Yeah.
And that's already a red fucking flag. Okay?
Red flag. We didn't even know what red flags were in high school, but goddamn,
so
get to know red flags, please.
Yeah.
Get to know them. Okay, so what are the signs of a toxic relationship?
Definitely lack of support. You need to have always support. I'm here for you, right?
Especially in romantic relationships, I think that is the main thing that you always look for, is just support. You gotta support each other.
Daily support, like with anything
and
everything, good or bad. Another one could be like envy, jealousy. It's like you shouldn't be competing in your relationship unless it's like a good competition.
Yeah.
But like, yeah, not to have any of that jealousy or enviness, controlling behaviors. Both of our guys in high school did that shit. Gross. Dishonesty, resentment, patterns of disrespect, and dominance. And then, of course, super, super big red flag is the isolation.
Isolating yourself.
Yeah.
And I guess it's important to kind of like recognize the isolation where it could be like a bad pattern of behavior versus when you first get into a new like relationship. If it's a romantic relationship, there's like that honeymoon phase where, you know, they're spending all their time together, they're getting to know each other, which I think is normal. But when it becomes a pattern where
he or she is like keeping you from your other friends or your family,
like you can't hang out with anybody else besides him, or if you do, he has to be there. They have to be there.
Yeah. Some
signs of a healthy relationship is probably everything of the opposite, you know?
Yeah.
Feeling one with each other, feeling secure, having that person gain lots of positivity in your life.
Showing love and support. And just being there when you need them. And it's just so crucial for them to listen to your needs and your wants and do their best to reflect on that and give you what you need and want in that relationship.
Yeah, I agree. I guess an example of a healthy relationship versus a toxic relationship is they accept each other for who they are versus they want to change each other to fit the ideal images they imagine. So I guess I can start out with this. With that, I feel like my boyfriend in high school at the time, he was kind of insecure. He had a lot of issues, I guess.
Yeah.
As every teenager should. But I do feel like there was some type of like control in that relationship where he was mad if I hung out with guy friends and it honestly wasn't just like the most healthiest relationship. And for being in a 4-year relationship in high school, I think I was just trying to be there for him as best as I could, kind of having that like,
it's like he
motherly
depended
caring. Yeah, he
on
depended
you.
on me. It sucked because I wasn't treated the best, and I just kind of let it happen and affect my other future relationship where like I just have some mad trust issues.
Seriously.
So he would be so mad if I was like hanging out with my friends and drinking. Like, we're in high school, we're supposed to start drinking and doing whatever.
Yeah,
and,
just
like,
having a good time. You know, you go to parties and I don't know. Yeah, we were pretty good.
Yeah.
I think same with my relationship. He was very self-conscious. Like he was so, you said insecure,
yeah,
right?
insecure.
Like insecure with himself. He had issues at home, which is everybody has their issues, but I think he really let that get to him and his anger built up so much that he took it out on everybody, including me. It was okay for him to do one thing, but then it was totally not okay for me to do that, you know?
Yeah.
Like if he was going out with his friends and then like if I wanted to go out with my friends or if I just went, he would be like, "Oh my god, like you're always hanging out with your friends. They're such a bad crowd," or
Just trying to turn it out on you.
Hating. Yeah. It's like I don't know. It's just bad. We stayed in the basement all the time. Like I feel like it was like a little dungeon. So unhealthy. So unhealthy.
Did we date the same guy?
I don't know. That's what I'm telling you. They purposely separate you and make you only hang out with them, and it's not okay.
Yeah.
Don't do it, guys. Just don't.
Find yourself, please.
Yeah, I think it took away a lot of our time to find ourselves, to figure out who are, I don't know, like the friend groups we wanted to be a part of, the things that we wanted to do, what were we interested in ourselves versus like what they wanted us to be a part of, what they wanted us to do.
Yeah. It makes me really sad because I dated this guy for 4 years out of my high school, and I feel like a lot of it was surrounded by him, and like obviously I tried to do what I could as being as independent.
Yeah.
As independent as you can and feel in high school, but once like college started, I just felt so free, and like I don't regret any decision because it's got me to where I am today. You know, everything's just a lesson, but that was a hard ass lesson that I had to we had to do.
I wouldn't wish that on anybody because I feel like seriously our guys were pretty much the same, two peas in a pod. They were literally the same people, just different situations and from different towns.
Yeah. Crazy.
It's crazy.
So another example of like a toxic versus healthy relationship, they have their free time to do what they like versus they stick with each other all the time. So I guess that's another example of like what you were kind of saying is like they need to be by you like all the time, or if you go anywhere else or have that free time to do something separately, it doesn't, it's not a good outcome.
Exactly. It's like this guy would call me a million cajillion times if I didn't answer my phone or something. So gross. Red fucking flags.
Red flags, man. We don't want it. We don't want it. Toxic relationships can also be mentally, emotionally, physically, and verbally abusing. Oh my god, am I saying this right?
Yeah, abusive.
Okay.
Right? Fuck that shit.
We don't want it. And I don't think you really know what that looks like until you actually experience it in one form or another.
Yeah.
For example, when I was dating my ex in high school, I wouldn't say to the most extensive part of it, but I was getting called different names, verbally abusive in a certain type of way for hanging out with friends that were guys, or I don't know, doing something that wasn't up to his standard or that he didn't like, so I was a fucking whore.
Yeah,
I was a fucking bitch.
I remember he would send you these like long paragraphs via text message calling you names, and just like your arguments were just so stupid and it doesn't make sense. Like, you're calling names for what? It just doesn't, it's not healthy. It doesn't help anybody. It's not okay.
It's not okay. Do you have anything else to say?
Yeah, I mean, I think for mine, again, he would also call names to me, saying you know, all that good stuff. You whore. No, just kidding. You dirty slut. I'm just kidding. No, but like around that. And then sometimes he would even try to get like physical with me, like just pushing me up against a wall, or like, it's like, don't put your hands on me. That's a no-go. That's a no-go. It's not that it was like violent. I mean, at the end of the relationship, I'm not gonna lie, things did get a little violent, which was good, which was a good thing that like I knew my limits to get out of there. But like once those things start, I mean, it can start with first him or her mentally making you feel some type of way, and then starting to call you names, and then physical, and like that's,
it just escalates,
yeah, just so get out of there.
and it's not okay.
However, you know, you want somebody in a relationship, like something positive is like no crying.
One other thing I will talk about in my high school relationship, which I thought was kind of bizarre, was I was always going to his house. I dated this dude for 4 years, and he only met my parents maybe a good handful of times out of it, and like never felt comfortable coming to my house, which I'm not sure why, and I'm sure it was probably just some other type of insecurities. But how fucked up is it that, like, you know, I'm doing all the initiative of doing the most, I'm going there and doing all this, and me being uncomfortable in that living situation that he was in as well.
Right.
It just didn't match up. And like a big thing about any type of relationship is compromise, and you know, going 50-50, or sometimes, you know, you're gonna have to compromise a little bit more on certain occasions or times, but for the most part it should be 50-50, or at least meeting halfway with each other.
I agree 100%. I think same situation with me. I was always at his house to a point where I was like living there.
And you were.
Yeah, we talked about it in the dungeon. But
in the deep, deep trenches. Okay, so on the other side of this, an example of a healthy relationship is expressing what's on your mind and the other person understanding and considering your emotions or feelings. I guess an example of this is coming from that toxic high school relationship going into my most recent long-term relationship. I was kind of like fucked up from that. I didn't know, it was like such a different relationship, but I also had a lot of trust issues. I wasn't sure on how I should act, or like, I don't know, it was just such a different scenario where sometimes, you know, like I did have to like express my feelings, and my partner at the time, he understood and he heard me, and he, you know, we talked about all these things, and I was
he was very patient
with me, because, you know, going from a guy that wasn't like letting me talk to any guys or was getting mad at every single thing, to a guy that was just so chill and so like laid back, it was so different for me, and it was kind of like, okay, like this is different, this is good. So I guess having that open communication, but also having on both sides understanding those things that you have to go through with each other.
Right.
Having those uncomfortable conversations.
Oh, that's for sure. I think that's something with my current relationship, communication. Even if we do have our little arguments, we've never had a massive, big argument. I mean, like, I get mad at him and, like, he kind of takes whatever, but we definitely communicate after every time. 100% positive that you should have in a relationship is the communication. And even if we are arguing, there's no verbal usage that is mal. Like, I'm never going to call him, like, bad names in that moment. So you have to go back and reflect on what you said in that conversation, but also in the moment, oh my God, I have this great thing. In the moment, you have to think, how will this hurt our relationship tomorrow or in the future? So don't say things that will ultimately ruin your relationship down the line, because once you say something, you can't take it back.
Yeah, and it's like, if you regret it, then it's just not gonna turn out to be a good outcome on that.
Yeah, I think also my relationship after my high school boyfriend was just so much more fun and vibrant. Like the colors to life started coming back alive because we were traveling. We always had fun conversations. We made each other laugh. And that was definitely something that I forgot in high school in that relationship. I felt like that relationship was just so toxic that it was just back and forth and never any positives to it.
Yeah, I agree. Coming out of that relationship and going into a new one, it was just like so many things were just so much better. I was learning so much, and we were growing together as, you know, as a couple, and then also like growing as like individuals, and like we learned so much from each other. And I'm so happy to like say that like my most recent relationship that I was with has made me into the person who I am today.
Yeah,
for the better.
For the better.
Oh. So another, I wouldn't say it's toxic, but it's very unhealthy, and I think it's something that past high school I think I've been dealing with a lot more is one-sided relationships, where I know I'm like a really good friend and like I love and care about every single one of my friends, and I will do anything for them. And it sucks sometimes putting in 100% and you don't get that same amount back.
And it's very one-sided.
And it's very one-sided. And I understand that sometimes it has to be one-sided, whether it's something that's going on in the other person's life and you're trying to be there as much as you can for them.
Yeah.
But when, you know, it's just hard when it's always giving, and it's like, it's nice to receive sometimes, even if it's just not
like, hey, how are you? Or just...
Yeah, just
let's have lunch.
A little bit of effort is always appreciated and makes people feel good, you know?
That's true. That's 100% valid.
Right. And so
we've been through some stuff like that, and it's just
it's frustrating, and I think at this point I've been so open on what I want, and like maybe we just have different expectations, and I think that's an important part of growing up is that we need to be open and be honest on how we feel, and like everything that you feel, like your feelings are valid.
Yeah.
You know?
Yeah. And it's important for people that are in your relationships, friendships, families, whatever, to validate your feelings. So if you are feeling like, I mean, communication for one.
Yeah.
You got to communicate with whomever. But like if you're communicating and you're not getting anything back and they're not validating your feelings, then it's just like what's the point?
Yeah.
What is that relationship for you, and what is it for them? Like are they benefiting 100%, like are they benefiting from it, or like what is it?
What is it?
Answer the question.
I've been very hurt in a lot of different relationships, and I just don't want to be taken advantage of being such a good friend. I know my worth, and I am putting my foot down.
That's good. That's very good. I hope I'm a good friend. I feel like I'm an all right friend.
No, you're a good friend. I have put you in your place a few times. There was one time when Danita and Mason started dating, and we had plans, and we had plans for something, and I was like waiting on you, and you ditched me for Mason, and I was like, look, it's fine, but don't do it again.
Oh my god. You remember something like that?
I just remembered, like I was just like so butthurt, but then I was just like, I understand, you have to.
It was probably because when I first started, after I moved from your couch.
Yeah, no, it was literally that, like it just happened, and I was like, hey, like just communicate with me, if you need to cancel, just let me know ahead of time, like. You know, things happen. It is what it is, and I said it.
That's true. But if you're canceling a million cajillion times, please just don't even hit me up, because I'm over it.
So another part of relationships is, I guess, it's not, I would say healthy, but it's just something that I think everybody goes through in relationships, friendships, is there's a part of relationships where there might be some drama. Mm-hmm. So I feel like a lot of, especially coming out of high school or in college, you know, there's just so many things going on. People are talking, you have all these different friend groups and whatever that can also just cause, you know, just some drama, like just like a lot of issues. And in one form or another, it can be based off of jealousy, insecurities, and whatnot. And those situations can be hard to face, especially when, you know, you're stressing out.
Not gonna lie, I mean, there's been times where I've been pretty jealous when you're hanging out with your coworkers, and I'm like, what the fuck? I want to hang out with you.
Right.
But it's not like, I'm not envious or anything. I'm just like, oh, like, that's my Taylor.
I think we've had a few friends in the past few years where, things have gone wrong and maybe it ended on bad terms in a form of another.
Mm-hmm.
So we had a friend that there was just a lot of petty drama that was involved and a lot of disrespect where, I am a very open book and I'm going to have your back no matter what. And if I feel like that there is some type of disrespect or if that I'm getting disrespected, I'm going to speak on it and say how I feel, because if you don't say how you feel, it's just going to get worse. It's just going to keep on building up.
The point will never come across
if you don't say anything and how you feel. And I just felt that there was some disrespect in the friendship and regarding to other people. Mm-hmm. And my friend did not like that I said it, and it ultimately ended up in them deleting me off of all the social media and just kind of like ghosting me.
Petty.
It is petty, and I just, come on, we're in our 20s, grow up. If we're allowed to have difficult conversations, we're allowed to have disagreements, and we just learn from one another from it, and it was just not the best situation.
Yeah, those hard conversations are the ones that are going to make you stronger, like your relationship stronger.
Yes, I agree. And, sometimes there are those friendships that do end on bad terms, and, it's not a good feeling. It's not a good feeling at all.
Mm-hmm. No, yeah, so another example, we had a friend that she was just, like, going through something, I think, personally.
I think everybody's going through shit, but the way that everyone goes about it is so different. The way
she went about it was, like, she just wanted to party all the time, and, like, whoever could be there to drink with her at any moment. Like, it had to be so random. You could never schedule it with her. And so she would, like, just drop you like a fly and go to this next person, and then go from that person, go to another person. And it was just, like, whatever was convenient for her
at that time
is how she wanted to live her life, like, with a friend.
Yeah.
I don't know.
Even if we had plans, it was kind of like, hey, what are you guys doing tonight? It would make it seem as if she was going to come out and then, like, doesn't even message us back. And, like, it is what it is. Ghost. But it's just kind of, like, disappointing when, you have these high expectations for these relationships that, maybe isn't getting returned. And how do you go about that?
Yeah. And personally, like, I'm not the one to, like, I like to be sporadic and all of that, but it's not, like, a daily thing for me. Yeah. And so I think with that friendship, where you had to cut it off is like, okay, so I'm not into doing all of that all the time, so let's just have our boundaries.
Yeah. A big part of our relationships is having those boundaries and understanding, having that open communication. If you don't want to do something, say it. If you don't want to go out, if you feel some type of way, just say it, because if you keep it bottled up and it keeps going, it's just gonna get worse and worse. And on a lighter note, one thing I love about Danita and I's relationship is, I don't know, I feel like within the last 11 years of us, like, being friends, I don't think we've ever really fought.
No.
I can't even remember us ever fighting, ever. Never. And I think, if anything, I'm just, like, calling you a little bitch, and it's like, it is what it is. But I think we're so open and honest, and it's like, I don't really want to do that, or I feel like this. Mm-hmm. We just say it, what's on our chest,
say it how it is, baby.
Say it how it is, and, you can't get hurt from that. If you're saying how you feel, your feelings are going to be valid.
Yeah. We have respect in this relationship, okay?
We like it.
Yeah, I think, seriously, to make this more positive and give you some more positive examples, it's like, not only do we communicate, we validate our feelings, but, like, we just have fun. And if something's not fun for the other person, we'll let each other know and be like, okay, moving on, next thing, or whenever we're there for each other, we find that time to be there for each other.
So, good quote that I found, it was written by Najwa Zebian, so I found it from Instagram, but it says, not everyone thinks like you. What makes sense to you doesn't necessarily make sense to someone else. Communicate, which I think is the part of your feelings are valid, but so are the other person's side. Like, some people aren't as receptive, but also, like, some people are not aware of other people's feelings and minds and, like, what they're thinking. You know, I'm thinking one way, but you can totally think a totally different way.
And even if you say a statement, it might come off differently to that person. Like, you say it in a way, and then they hear it in a different way. And I think that's something super important with communication. Therapy. My therapist always says, say what you're going to say, and then have the person repeat it back to you. And then you hear how they heard it, because then you can be like, wait, that's not what I said, you know?
That's crazy.
Because, I mean, it happens all the time with me and Mason, where it's like, I say one thing, and he totally misses a whole chunk of what I say, because he's only focusing on
the big words. Yeah. That's also another thing, is I was thinking about, like, with tone, is if you text somebody something, they're going to interpret it however they want. And if you put a period...
Right, some people
after
are
it,
like,
or if you say something that they think is something, like, recepting a different way over text message, how is that going to be any better than talking in person?
Right.
I think face-to-face communication is so important, and I feel like over the last few years, especially after high school, I kind of been, like, slowly, like, staying away from my phone. Like, I'm on, like, social media and do whatever on that, but, like, with talking to people...
You FaceTime a lot.
I FaceTime. Like, I don't like texting because it's too much. Or Danita and I have started audio messaging each other just so we can hear our beautiful voices.
Yes.
I hate texting. It's just so much. If we have so much to get out, especially when, like, we're talking about the podcast or ideas, my fingers are fucking tired.
And I don't want to sit and read a fucking 3-paragraph text. Just, like, voice memo it to me, call me, FaceTime me. Can we just do something like that? Because it's kind of, it takes so much time. Sorry, not that I don't like to read, but it takes a lot of time, because naturally as humans, we're always multitasking and doing other shit. Not everybody has the time to sit there and write a paragraph or read a paragraph.
Yeah.
And have 3 different conversations in one text.
Yeah. It's crazy.
Don't do it.
Don't do it.
Okay.
Period.
Then... what are some healthy things?
So I guess shifting from this, all of these healthy and toxic relationships that I think we've had over the last few years have made me realize, like, what values I look for in a friend and that I have for myself. Mm-hmm. I do just want someone who's going to be open and honest, because I have mad trust issues, man.
Seriously.
Mad trust issues. And... it's only because of these different relationships I've had, and romantically, I've only had 2 long-term relationships, which blows my mind.
Yeah.
Like I said, I don't regret anything because it's made me to the person who I am today, but I had 1 4-year relationship and then 1 5-year relationship. Mm-hmm. I've been hurt. Yeah. I've been cheated on. I literally don't know, like, how...
Lied to.
But I am stronger than ever now, and I think that's just made me into the person who I am today, and I wouldn't have it any other way.
Yeah.
We've both lost friends throughout this process, and honestly, all of our friends that we've had for so long, or that, you know, we haven't talked to in a while, and maybe we left off on bad terms, like, I have nothing but love for every single one of you guys. Everyone has taught me either a lesson, or we've just memories that I think about every day.
Great memories to reflect on, and all of that. I love that. I have no hate towards any of my past friends.
No.
And a lot of them I'll still like and comment and do all of that good stuff and just show my support. And I think, like you said, something that I would want now in a relationship is respect. I just want respect. I want to be heard. You know?
Hear, respect.
And
RESPECT.
Find out what it means to me.
Please, someone respect, goddamn. But just acknowledge each other's feelings and, like, their thoughts, because we are all going through so much change and growth right now, maybe some more than others, and we just have to hear each other out. If we have different opinions or feelings about something, and if you really care about your relationships,
put in that effort.
Put in the
if
effort.
you did something wrong, just show the effort. Just, it doesn't even have to be that big. Like,
Right.
you don't have to bring a fucking bouquet of flowers. All you need to do is, like, send a nice text, make a call, bring a letter to them.
Actions speak
Like,
louder than words.
Just put in that effort little at a time. Like, maybe the first effort's not going to do much, but maybe the second one will, right?
Yeah.
Like, I think it's so important to realize that if that friendship was valuable to you, you would make that effort to make everything right.
Yeah. We rely so much on our relationships, on all forms of relationships to, have our outlet or to celebrate the big accomplishments or to cry with your sorrows and be upset. And
such an important part of life is having those relationships. And so you want to just have the most valuable and cherishable ones.
Exactly. And I think that's what we're all looking for now is people who we can share our lives with going forward. That's all that really matters now.
Yeah.
Another quote from Najwa Zebian. It's no one's responsibility to make you happy. Stop giving up your power by expecting someone or something to change your life. Which, another thing, maybe don't have crazy expectations, but at this time in our life, we're supposed to be focusing on ourselves.
Yeah.
It's only going to be like a plus to have these people in your life. Yes, you gain all of these things. We should realize that at this point in my life, I've realized the biggest and most important relationship you should have is with yourself.
Oh my God, yeah.
And, you got to be good to yourself. And that's something that we kind of talked about in self-care, too, is know what you like, do what you need for yourself first.
Yeah, that's why it's so important to actually, before you even get into a relationship, a long-term relationship, just to find yourself. Like, know what you like, what you want to do with your life, and how you want to come off as a person. Oh gosh, is that a cat?
Yeah.
If I never went and traveled, I would have never become who I was. Like, I feel like that gave me so much independency, and then I could get into a relationship and actually have a healthier relationship, because before I was in these relationships without even knowing who I was.
Yeah.
And it literally took a toll on me. And so then once I did get that freedom and all of that, I think this relationship that I'm in now is 100%, 110% better than any other relationship could have been in the past.
Yeah. And that's crazy because, like I said, I was in 2 long-term relationships right out of high school, and then right out of high school. And so this is the first time in my life for almost a year now that I am by myself. It's just me, myself, and I. And it's so crazy that this is kind of my time to, this is my time to find myself and do what I want to do. And not that I didn't do that, and I had so much fun the last few years, especially in college, and having those memories, but now I need to focus on me, and I never did that.
Yeah.
Okay, one more quote. So this is one of my friends. Her name's Bree. I asked her if I could use her lovely words on here. Quote. I should be keeping doing that. Quote. Yeah. Some of your biggest oppositions, adversaries, opponents, and most painful heartaches have been your greatest teachers. The best tools and resources to make you better have been your obstacles. They taught you to think outside the box. End quote.
Jaw on the fucking floor.
And yeah, I think that's all I have, honestly.
No, I think that's good. I think we said what we had to say.
And we are done here.
Goodbye.
Done. It's just a normal part of life.
It is. As we go on, we remember all the times we had together.
That's beautiful.
Yay.
Shout out to all the homies out there.
Yeah.
We love you.
All those long-term relationships.
Or our new relationships that we formed.
Old relationships.
We're eternally grateful for you guys.
Seriously. We love you still and always will. You might not be at my wedding, but...
We'll be thinking about you.
Yeah.
Oh,
I'm sure your picture will show up somewhere.
At the middle school slideshow.
Yeah.
With that song. As we go on. I remember when people would just be singing this song And I would just start crying.
Yeah.
Because I'm like, that's not funny. And now here we are.
Song.
Just like, it is so sad.
Oh my
I'm
gosh.
pretty sure, like, when I was moving out of, like, my last apartment, as we go, tears, sobbing tears.
Can we not? None of that.
But now we're thinking about it as, like, as a good,
Yeah.
positive moving forward. As we go on, better things are happening.
Yeah. We're changing for the better. I like that.
Yes.
I like that. Who we've become.
Who we've become. I feel like it's so funny, like, looking back to, like, I feel like me and you, we've been the same people for so long, just like that silly, goofy, like, we've always just been the same people, but I don't know. Do you know what I'm saying?
Yeah, I think we've always been very, like, active, fun, goofy, silly, and
goofy,
like,
but also, like, open, honest. Like, you know, I've only seen you cry, like, a handful of times. Like, if she cries, you know.
It's going down.
Yeah, it's going down. Me, I'm crying, like, every fucking week to her, but what else is new?
Right. I feel like I get angry more than I cry, so.
Yeah. Just
Get mad.
Oh my gosh, the fact that we've been friends for almost
More than
11
a
years
decade,
now?
Yeah. Wild.
I mean, I don't even think we're friends at this point. We're just like family. We're blood.
We're homies.
We're blood sisters.
Homies.
Shout out to the homies. Yeah, I think you'll be...
Should we, like, cut open our palms and, like...
Just...
Put your blood in my blood.
Together. Yeah, you'll definitely be like a godmother or something.
It's crazy. Can you just, like, get pregnant when I get pregnant?
Yeah, we should have, like, the pregnancy pack.
Yeah.
You gotta wait, like, at least 10 more years.
What?
Bitch, I don't even have a man, and I don't want one.
Well, you know what? You can just take his semen, and I have...
Bro, you need to chill. Well, that's it for weekly therapy sessions with Taylor and Danita. I forgot that we have a podcast and it's called Modern Day Hippies, but I think this is, like, honestly, our therapy sessions and just dishing it all out.
I hope you guys like it. If you like it, you should definitely give us 5 stars. Go to our Instagram and follow us. And, like, what else can you do? Share.
Get Modern Day Hippies tatted.
Oh my god, we should do that on our ass. We should do, like, MDH.
Yeah, no, I was honestly gonna start, like, try to design, like, a cute Modern Day Hippies tattoo thing we could do.
Very small.
Just a small one, like a cute thing, but we'll keep you updated.
Yeah.
Ta-ta for now. See you next week on Modern Day Hippies. Woo!
Yay. Let's insert a fun song here.
As we go.
No, that's not fun.
I'm not crying anymore, at least.
I have the best song. We're going to insert a song here.
Okay.
All right, bye.
What is it? Peep. Enjoy my coworkers, the homies, their take on relationships. And go. It's on the record.
It's on the record.
Just say it. So this upcoming episode that's going to come out this week is about relationships. Doesn't matter about, like, what type of relationships. It could be platonic, romantic, family relationships. Yeah, anything you want it to be. So relationships. We talk about how in our mid-20s that it is so common now that you are going in and out of different types of relationships, and it's okay to grow out of certain friendships, relationships, and whatnot. Does anybody have any comments? Any stories? Any examples?
I totally do, but I want to hear opinions from people that aren't getting married.
Well, when I moved to the city, I was like 22, and one of my friends, actually you've met her, Claire, well, yeah, she's the words there. Yeah, she's super cool, but like something that she kind of taught me was that the friends that are worth staying friends with are those that you feel like are giving back what you're giving as well. Like, if they're not willing to travel 20 minutes to come hang out with you at a bar or something, and then, like,
Okay.
They don't, like, what I'm saying is, like, if they don't put in the time to, like,
Make that effort.
make that effort,
Reciprocate
like,
it.
there's no effort or, like, anything, or, like, you always have to attend to, like, their needs, then it's, like, that's not a relationship that's, like, equal footings. Like, you're not, like,
Exactly.
yeah, you're, like,
And
it's
no,
one-sided.
right, and that's a big point that we make is that it's at this point of our lives, it's more over like quantity over quality.
Yeah,
Did I say it?
quantity
Oh
over
my
quality.
god!
Yeah, it's just important to, like, be friends with people that it's, like, what are we providing for each other? Am I learning something from you? Is there, like, a perspective that I can learn from? Or is this, like,
A dead end.
is this, like, superficial, like, I'm meeting you at a party, it's not going to go past
We
this.
talk about hanging out and then we never hang out.
And then everything's out. Yeah.
I think, I mean, this is what's kind of wild, too. I think there's an inclination, if anything, but almost an expectation that everyone needs something in their life. And I think that's the wildest thing, is there's almost this sense of really aggressive pressure that everybody feels, being like, if I don't have someone, if I don't have that connection, you feel pressure to go out, and then if it doesn't work, if you feel like you don't connect on that level with someone, if it's either a one-night thing, if it's just a failure from the get-go, if it's a couple of times and then it ends up not working, everyone wants to write it off as, oh, you know, like, insert any just really lack of cordial tag there. Everyone wants to write it off as either like a failed experience, it's not their fault, they're not a contributor to that failed interpersonal relationship, right? It's super fucked up, but I feel like there's almost this, I know that where I was even 4 or 5 years ago, was that I almost chased romantic relationships, not even prioritizing what I wanted from it, what I expected from it, what I wanted from it. It was like, if I don't have this, I'm doing something wrong. You feel like there's almost this void. It is that the really cliche of, like, I feel like there's a void that is present that I can fix. And the way that I fix that is by finding someone that meshes with me in these ways, fills that, and you create budgets for those people, which is the most fucked up part of the whole thing. You create budgets for those people, even if they're not what you're looking for, if they're not the person you're looking for. You give them leeway on things that you don't agree with, even on, like, really significant levels. You give them leeway because you're like, well, who else am I going to be with right now? Who else am I going to have this conversation with? There's almost a laziness, I feel like, that's been built into it. And I'm not, it's not a righteousness thing. I was there. I feel like I say this because I know that's where I was. And I was giving leeway to either partners or interests in the past that I was like, I don't agree with you. I don't agree with you at all. And I think this is either a really fucked up thing to say, I think this is just a weird thing to say, I either don't agree with you or we're just on different pages entirely. And instead of trying to retain your sense, your individual in it, you start bending the knee on, like, really weird things because you feel like, oh, if I don't do this here, I'm alone again. That's so fucked up when you think about it. And again, this is almost like an unnecessarily sage piece of advice, because I do feel like I am unbelievably privileged in being able to say that I am marrying my best friend. There's no exaggeration in that. This is someone who I goblin with. I'm the weirdest I am in any point of the day with this person, and it's amazing because there are still things where we'll sit down and we'll have very meaningful discussions about things that are either alien to one another and we either educate each other on, or it's things that you don't agree on, and you sit down and that's the difference. You don't feel weird about it. It's not this weird, oh, I'm uncomfortable talking about this with you. This is someone that you care so deeply about. That you're tell me, educate me on this, tell me why this affects you, how do I help you in this, how am I your person in this? That is the difference, right? It's not you're sitting at a bar across from someone, they say some dumb shit, and you feel awkward and uncomfortable about it.
Yeah.
You hear something that affects the person that you genuinely care about. There's no anxiety in it. There's no stress, there's no pressure in it. It's just this immediate, that is something that I am immediately drawn to, not even just because of the issue, because of you. How am I a part of that with you? I think that's the weirdest thing.
I also just feel like people are very uncomfortable with being uncomfortable. It's having those conversations is not fucking easy with every fucking person you meet, because one, that person may not be fucking comfortable with having that conversation, where then you're in that spot where you're well, now I'm uncomfortable. Not really, but you know your place, but you don't know how to act.
Can I
Like,
ask,
people are like,
can I ask you, if you feel that way, right? Because I think that's the thing for me. When you start to feel that way when you're uncomfortable with someone, I think the make or break for me is if you feel that uncomfort and you have that sense of anxiety with the person that you're talking to, you back down from it, right?
oh yeah,
If it's someone that you care for,
you're gonna ask more.
You're gonna ask.
You want to learn more. You want to see
Yes.
why they think the way they do it.
Yes.
Because you want to learn more. At that point, you should be.
You almost like seek being uncomfortable with them because you know that there's something of it that is for the better, for you, for them.
And it's only gonna make you fucking learn as well. Because I mean, let's be real here. Everyone fucking thinks different. Everyone has their own fucking aspects on life and everything. Like no one's gonna fucking agree on everything. That's a significant other. That's a fucking best friend. They're gonna have different fucking aspects and values and shit at the end of the day.
But
that's fucking.
is that drive though, right? Because I feel like no matter what, at the core of it, you begin with how you handle the sense of being alone.
Which people don't.
You either do well with or you don't do well
Yeah.
with. And I mean, you don't condemn it one way or the other.
I mean-
it's not like you look at someone and you go, "You're alone."
Not even relationships at this point. I think that's a lot of things in life in general. People aren't willing to fucking talk about because
I feel like I've seen this on even Twitter and beyond a couple of times. People are like, "Oh, what an unbelievable sense of self when you go out and you have dinner by yourself."
yeah.
To
Or
eat
go see a
alone.
movie by yourself.
Go see
Yes.
a movie
Yeah.
by yourself. People make that joke, but I'm like, I think there's some wisdom in it because
I
if
love
you
watching
can't,
movies
You
alone.
can't do it by yourself. Then
if you
how
can't
can
do it by
with others?
yourself, why are you looking to share that with
Yeah.
someone? Like establish your comfort
Because
first
then you're
and
just like
then.
in a movie too. Like you're just
Literally.
thinking about what the other person. You're like, oh, how do they think this movie's going? Oh, I bet they hate it, or I bet they love it. And you have no idea how you're perceiving that movie because you're just thinking about the other person. It's like when you show someone a song or any type of art, you're like, oh, well, what do they think about it? And then it changes your perspective on how you think about it. You know, like you can't think for yourself unless you like do it on your own, and then you can actually think for yourself.
Y'all are so crazy. Y'all are so crazy, man.
Hey, you said let's talk.
Hey.
You brought up that dirty little mic.
You brought up this decent mic. Don't you dare.
No, literally, we recorded this, and like at the end, I say basically like the most important relationship you have is like with yourself, and you are trying to. The whole part of like being in your 20s, I think, is trying to find yourself and having that relationship and figure out what you like and what you don't like. Having those uncomfortable conversations, whether you're having it with a best friend, a partner, whatever. That's just so crazy. That's just, I love you guys. That's it. That's all. Thank you, friends.
Hey guys! Thank you so much for listening to Modern Day Hippies. To help support our podcast, leave a 5-star rating. It doesn't seem like much, but it means the most to us. Follow us on Instagram and visit our website at mdhpodcast.com. Leave any comments, suggestions, and questions in our Connect box. We love you, Modern Day Hippies!